These baddies made it personal. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movie villains who killed the hero's parents.
You should know that you don't leave Don Luis. You only die.
For this list, we'll be looking at big screen antagonists that did away with one or both of the hero's parents. We'll be excluding animated movie villains as they deserve a list of their own. But don't worry, we'll never forgive Scar either. Given the nature of this list, a spoiler warning is in effect.
Let's finish this the way we started. Together!
Number 10, Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. Scream.
Do you want to die, Sydney? Your mother sure didn't.
A pair of deranged, masked serial killers obsessed with scary movies, Billy Loomis and Stu Macher are responsible for much of the carnage in this meta-horror. Though we don't learn it until much later, they began by killing the mother of the film's heroine, Sidney Prescott. Billy and Stu frame one of Maureen's lovers for the deed and then go on with their killing, while also terrorizing Sidney, who also happens to be Billy's girlfriend.
Door's locked. I heard screaming. You alright?
The killer's here. He's in the house. No, he's in the house. He's gonna kill him.
Ultimately, Sidney and her friends are able to turn the tables. Although while Prescott did avenge her mother's death, the horror didn't stop there.
My pleasure.
Number 9, Nero, Star Trek.
We wait for the one who allowed our home to be destroyed, as we've been doing for 25 years.
The embittered captain of a Romulan mining ship, Eric Bana's Nero leads his crew back in time to exact revenge on Spock for failing to save his planet. Nero does so by destroying Spock's homeworld, Vulcan, so that the elderly ambassador can experience the same feeling of loss. This also results in Spock's younger self losing his human mother. Furthermore, Nero is also indirectly responsible for the death of James Kirk's father, who sacrifices himself when Nero's ship first arrives in the past. He's an impressive villain, but one who inspires more vengeful heroes than he can handle.
I love you so much. I love you.
Number 8, Norman Stansfield, Leon the Professional.
I like these calm little moments before the storm.
A corrupt DEA agent who deals and takes drugs on the side, Norman Stansfield is a brutal and eccentric villain, whose flamboyant, hammy personality makes him as entertaining as he is threatening. When Norman discovers that one of his men has been cutting some of the cocaine he asked him to stash, he kills the man's entire family, or so he thinks.
The guy was here, he went for his gun. Bang, we shot him.
Where exactly were the kids?
I don't know. They should have been at school, don't you think?
The man's daughter Matilda manages to elude capture, taking refuge with the titular assassin Leon. The result isn't good for Stansfield. By killing Matilda's family, he inadvertently created a killer in training with one seriously protective adoptive father.
One shot, not bad, huh?
I'm fine. I just can't breathe. Get off of me.
Can we try with real bullets now?
Not today, let's back up.
Number 7, Solsa Doom, Conan the Barbarian.
Purging is at last at hand. The day of doom is here.
With a name like that, it's a sure bet that this villain has killed plenty of people's parents. A hypnotically charismatic cult leader and powerful wizard, Solsa Doom is responsible for the death of not one, but both of the barbarian hero Conan's parents. While his forces kill Conan's father, Doom decapitates his mother personally, with his father's sword no less. With one fell swing, Doom makes a lifelong enemy of Conan, who vows vengeance and goes on to kill the wizard with the same sword that took his mother's life. Isn't it nice when things come full circle? Number 6, Count Rugen, the Princess Bride.
I'm sure you've discovered my deep and abiding interest in pain. At present, I'm writing the definitive work on the subject.
Count Rugen is the six-fingered right-hand man of the vile Prince Humperdinck, handling the torture of his enemies in cruel and unusual ways. However, his most infamous deed occurred many years ago when he killed the father of master swordsman-to-be, Inigo Montoya, over a sword he'd commissioned.
Without a word, the six-fingered man slashed him through the heart.
Rugen earned Inigo's eternal enmity that day, and Inigo dedicated his life to becoming the best swordsman so that he could defeat Rugen. It's a deed he finally accomplishes in this truly legendary duel, punctuated by his immortal words.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Number 5. Ego, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Who the hell are you?
I figured my rugged good looks would make that obvious. My name is Ego. And I'm your dad, Peter.
At first, Peter Quill's father Ego seems like the ultimate dad. He's warm, welcoming, incredibly cool, and also an immortal celestial that's taken on the form of a living planet. However, as it turns out, he lives up to his name in that he only values himself, planning to expand and control the entire galaxy.
Grow and spread, covering all that exists, until everything is me.
Peter is willing to go along with it, while under Ego's influence, that is, until Ego reveals that he gave Peter's mother cancer. The revelation leads to a climactic showdown between father and son that sees Peter getting revenge on one father figure, while sadly losing another. Number 4. Tom Chaney, True Grit.
I was just 14 years of age when a coward by the name of Tom Chaney shot my father down and robbed him of his life and his horse and 2 California gold pieces that he carried in his trouser band.
In both versions of True Grit, Tom Chaney is the principal villain and catalyst for the film's plot, murdering Mattie Ross's father before joining up with a gang of outlaws. With the help of Marshal Rooster Cogburn and Texas Ranger LaBeouf, Mattie pursues Chaney, eventually catching up with him and shooting him.
Stand up, Tom Chaney!
In the original, it takes a little extra to send him into the afterlife, whereas in the remake, Mattie's shot is much more definitive. Though not the sharpest knife in the drawer, Chaney is a grimy, underhanded criminal, making him a great counterpoint to Mattie's intelligence and staunchly moral character.
Everything happens to me, now I'm shot by a child!
I'll shoot you again if you don't get up!
Number 3. The Winter Soldier, Captain America, Civil War.
What do we do, Cap?
We fight.
This is gonna end well.
The third Captain America film focuses on Captain Steve Rogers' conflict with Tony Stark, also known as Iron Man, over superhero registration and the deeds of Cap's old friend Bucky Barnes. Although they and the other Avengers come to blows over their disagreements, Tony eventually decides to team up with Cap and Bucky for the greater good. That is, until he discovers that Bucky killed his parents. While Bucky may not be a villain in the strictest sense in Civil War, his villainous actions in the past qualified him in our books, and this reveal resulted in one of the most powerful moments of emotionally charged conflict in the MCU. Number 2. The Joker, Batman.
We can't do business, why? We'll just shake hands, that'll be it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In this big screen adaptation, the clown prince of crime terrorizes the city of Gotham with characteristic flair. Turns out, in a departure from the comics, before becoming the Joker, Jack Napier was actually the one who gunned down Bruce Wayne's parents, inadvertently giving rise to his future foe. Usually, it's a character called Joe Chill that's responsible for their deaths. Director Tim Burton's decision to merge the character with the Joker gave Batman an even more personal conflict.
You killed my parents. What? Huh. What are you talking about? I made you. You made me first.
It pays off too, as the final confrontation sees Batman allowing the man who made him who he is to fall to his death. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Voldemort, the Harry Potter franchise. The most powerful dark wizard of all time, Voldemort murdered Harry Potter's parents when the hero was just a baby. The incident led to Harry's lightning scar and set in motion a sequence of events that would ultimately lead to Voldemort's downfall. After temporarily losing his body, Voldemort returns during Harry's school years to hound the young wizard and threaten the wizarding world again.
You're a fool, Harry Potter. And you will lose everything.
Sinister and deformed by his dark magic, Voldemort makes for a thoroughly evil villain, and while Harry doesn't set out to avenge his parents, destiny and many trials lead him to confront and defeat the Dark Lord once and for all. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.